Greetings everyone. For those of you who thought there would not be another layout video posted by me, surprise! It's been entirely way too long since the last one. I think it was about 9 months since the last layout video, even longer since the last progress update. But nevertheless, I've been not as busy as I'd like, but I did get a few, well, maybe more than a couple of things done on the layout. The big changes, might as well dive right in. Again, why not, right? So the big changes since the last update, I did mention I was going to make a few, and one of them was that I decided to move the location of the elevator. Originally, the elevator would have been right around there, and the spur to the elevator would be coming off the main line somewhere in that area right there, in this direction. So in the last update, you might recall me mentioning that grade, that slope was a little too steep. At the time it was about 3%. I decided to find a way to make it a little more acceptable. So by moving that turnout right there from over here, so that the spur would go in this direction, by moving it in a little bit closer to that interchange, I was able to start the grade a little bit earlier and smooth it out a bit more. So now it's only about maybe 2.5%. Still steeper than ideal, but it works pretty well. For the smaller layout and the smaller trains, it's going to work okay. So now the elevator is going to be here in this area, and I'm happy to say that the trackage to the elevator is done as well. You might have seen that in the last video that I did for the layout, the grain elevator switching ops video. And over on that side is going to be a farm. The farmhouse is actually in the process of being built, and the barn will follow next, and then eventually there will be a wheat field and possibly extending over there into the pop-up as well, to the pop-out. Amongst other changes, the big one is here in the peninsula. Most of the changes have happened here. You may recall the line used to extend over here and then down a fairly steep 4% grade all the way down and back out here. So as I mentioned in the last video as well, the 4% grade had to go. So I changed the layout quite a bit in this section. I decided to, instead of having two separate loops on this level, on this lower level here, decided to make it just one that kind of loops on itself and without necessarily intersecting itself. So now the main is going to go all the way down through there, come back out, cross the bridge, and continue on, and then eventually will become come out and then circle right over there and come over that bridge, and then again out behind and come out here on top and rejoin this construction area right there. As you can see, it's under active construction. Wear a hard hat. As far as this little spur, originally it was supposed to be just a short spur to an industry that I was planning somewhere here. I decided that, hey, I have this now wide open space underneath what will be the upper layer. So I decided to turn it into a staging loop for a mine. So what I'll likely be doing is putting a coal mine over here, or I should say a loader. The mine will be over there. This main will enter a tunnel probably somewhere out here, and then kind of go up, and a mine will be in that area with the gravity loader over here. So I decided, it being an Alberta themed layout, I needed a coal mine. But yeah, to make the mine operate properly, I ended up building this, which you're looking at right now, is a staging loop, which will be mostly hidden from that tunnel over there, probably to another tunnel entrance, probably somewhere right here. And the rest of it will be hidden from sight. But it's nice, it's a nice staging area for additional trains as well. So whether it be coal trains or something else, it'll work. As part of the rework of the peninsula, I also decided to make an intermodal yard, which I always kind of wanted, but the dividers here, again, kind of pre-staging for a future divider. The whole section I'm going to essentially divide in half where that pink divider was. On the far side will be an intermodal yard, a small one, and on this side, coming off, turn out over there, an industrial area and a few industries, just to add more interest, more switching, and those will be contained entirely within this upper loop. So all of that will be on the upper level. So what I've started doing so far is adding the risers for the upper layer track. Unlike the bottom layer where I used plywood and 1-inch insulation foam, in this area I decided to just keep the track elevated and only install sufficient plywood for the track itself, as well as the various industrial areas like the intermodal yard down there. It'll only be the 2 tracks, as well as whatever spurs are going to be over here. So there will just be the kind of a little bit less plywood, as well as the space for the divider in between, mostly to accommodate the track. So far, as I said, I've been putting up the risers as well as the cardboard mock-ups for the upper layers, just to make sure things fit. So obviously the track there hasn't been actually installed yet. It's just kind of laying there for fun, and just to make sure things line up and fit. So those are the major changes to the layout itself, as far as the track, the design of the main lines. Amongst other things, of course, there's been lots of new toys that I have since gotten. Some of them you can see there. Obviously, a wonderful GMD1, my new favorite model. Lots of rolling stock of various types. Got this nice Walthers CN plow, currently sitting on my maintenance away. Did make myself a birthday present just not too long ago, and got this Overland brass caboose. I'm very happy with it. It's gorgeous, of course. And what else? Just a couple of other minor things. Built a small engine house. I do ultimately plan in this yard to have 2. There will be a small one over there, and a larger diesel house, 3-stall diesel house will be placed over here in this area right there. I will end up reworking the track, basically spacing it out a little bit further out. Right now I decided that all the yard tracks are a little too close together. It's pretty much impossible to get in between them, so I will likely end up sacrificing maybe one of the spurs there in the yard for the sake of improved usability, and space them out a bit more. But that will be much later. Another thing that I've been working on is experimenting with a new accessory control methodology. In the yard, I was using, you may recall in one of the earlier videos, I talked about typical analog panel with just your regular toggle switches and LEDs indicating the the turnout position. As you can see, the fascia on this panel didn't work out too well. The glue was seeping through, but it's still functional, so it'll do for now. But it was purely analog. And for the main line, I decided to use DCC for my switch machines. And that, of course, enables me a lot of flexibility. I can either still create a standard panel down the road and utilize push buttons, or I could use GMRI to create a digital one. So to throw a turnout, all I need to do is simply touch, and off it goes. And it's easy. It was very simple to set up, much simpler than I thought that it would be. So it works well. I like it. Down the road, I'll make this look a little bit prettier. But for now, in the intermediate stages of layout construction, until everything is finalized, this works much better than a bunch of random toggles or having to remember the DCC address of each turnout. So it works well. The yard for now is still going to stay analog until I complete it, and at that point I may or may not go with the same methodology as I have here, using a tablet for a panel. Here I decided to use my old iPad just as a screen with a browser connection to the GMRI server, which is running on that little netbook under the table at this point in time. So those are the big updates on the layout. I'm hoping to be able to do videos more often than once a year or more. Hopefully I'll be able to keep to that schedule, no promises. Knowing my track record, obviously can't promise that another one will be soon, but I will try. One of the things that I really would like to share with you all is the progress that I've been making on the farmhouse and what I'm doing with it, the detailing there. So that will come in the next video. So hopefully you enjoyed this update. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and I truly hope, again, to have the next video much sooner than a few months from now. So long.